Hello everyone, welcome to East Cocina. Today I'm going to try to season this pork shoulder, and basically it's going to be like what we call pernil, and it's going to be a 9-pound, I think. Actually it's a 10-pounder, and it's this big. It's been defrosted. I've been defrosting it for almost 3 days already because it was in a deep freezer, and it's really very but it's ready to be seasoned. I tried doing I'm doing this, and I'm also doing a turkey too. So I'm having a little bit of an issue with my turkey. I haven't really defrosted, so it's in the back right there, and it's probably gonna be the next video that I do for you guys. Obviously, this is going to be something that is gonna be more faster for me because I'm already used to doing this more often. So you take it out of the bag. This I normally get it at the commissary, or you can get them at HEB or wherever it is you get your meat from. I do get the one with the bone because the bone is going to give it more flavor, and that bone is right there, and it's going to give it that much flavor to the seasoning. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some limes or lemon. Whatever you guys have, that's what you should use. I have some limes actually, and that's what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use at least 1 or 2, and what I'm gonna do is go to the sink and wash it very thoroughly. And you can use white vinegar, you can use lemon juice, you can use anything that is gonna wash off all that residue with blood and things like that. You know, that's what you want to do. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna get started on it. And I'm not even gonna show you that much, but I'm definitely gonna grab a couple of these limes right here. And the juicier the better, that's what you want. So we're gonna wash it off, and of course wash it off with cold water, not warm water. You want cold water to rinse off all the stuff that it has. I'm gonna slice your lemon. You wanna pour it in. Just basically wash it with it. You know, if you have washed some pernil, you know, or if you have washed some meat, it shouldn't be so complicated. It's very simple. I'm gonna show you like this. You wash it with it. And what that's going to do is just basically going to give some seasoning to your pernil, but it's also going to wash it thoroughly and eliminate anything that doesn't really after. I just scratched myself with the bone, but that happens. Okay, so now we're doing that, and we're going to keep doing that to just season it very thoroughly. Grab the other wedge. Pour it into the pernil and wash that pernil as much as you can. That's the rhythm of it. And what I'm happy about this pernil is that this pork shoulder doesn't seem to have too much fat that I can tell. It does have some fat, but not a lot. So that's also going to be very good for it. Okay, so I actually only use 1 lime to wash it. Perfectly fine. You don't have to use 1 if you don't want it. Once you rinse it out, get back on rinse off too. And here we go. We're ready to get started. If you want to, the first step that I do is basically I just look at my pork shoulder and say, if I see anything that looks like this, I take it off, and you just have to use a knife and cut off that little pieces that you don't feel like that you need it. Put it in a plate where all the stuff is, and my next step is start basically making holes in the pernil, and I start with the skin because that's the first thing that you should be doing, is making those big big holes on the pernil, and that is going to, you want to make sure that it goes right into the bone. So, lo que estamos haciendo ahora es un pernil, se llama un pernil al horno, y lo que vamos a hacer es que vamos a hacerles muchos hoyos o pequeños huecos a la carne, como de un inch o dos, like an inch o dos. Y le vas a hacer como algunos, bastante, te voy a decir la verdad. Le vas a poner mucho, y por todas partes. You're gonna make holes all over the pork shoulder. You're gonna make it in the meat, and you're gonna make sure that it goes right into the bone, okay? And the deeper the better, because that means that all that seasoning is gonna sip right through. And just be careful, don't cut yourself, because you know, these knives are very lethal, so you don't wanna be able to cut yourself in the process of doing that. So you want to make holes all over the pork shoulder, and basically just make sure that everything is just, even the skin, you want it to be saturated with all that juicy and wonderful seasoning. Lo que quieren es que todo el sazón que ustedes le van a poner, que se le entre a esto acá adentro, al pernil, y que tome ese buen sabor que necesita. So, la única manera que va a pasar eso es que tú le pongas, le hagas hoyo en todo donde puedas, y los hoyitos que le haces vas a tener todo el sazón, lo vas a poner ahí adentro. El sazón va a estar perfecto, porque lo que pasa es que entre más hoyo tú le pongas, mucho mejor será para el pernil. So, ahora le hice bastante. Tú sabes, después si quieres hacerle más, you can make more holes if you need to. But right now, I think that should be enough. Now let's go to the seasoning of everything. Okay, my first thing that you're gonna need is going to be my sofrito. The sofrito is a staple in my seasoning. Without that, you can't do anything. I am going to have 2 jars of it because I am going to use a lot. So, la primera que vamos a usar es mi sofrito, va a ser, en mi sazón va a ser mi sofrito. El sofrito, si tú no has visto mi receta para el sofrito, te recomiendo que lo hagas porque te va a ahorrar mucho tiempo. Y aquí tengo uno que tenía frisado y que lo saqué. This is one that I had frozen and I took out. So, now I have a little bit from the last time. Tengo un poco de la última vez que tenía acá, pero aquí estamos. Ok, vamos a darle, y lo que vamos a hacer es que vamos a buscar un, let's see, a jar or something. You're gonna need a container. It could be a bowl or whatever it is you're gonna be. Just, you guys get to choose what you want to use. Pueden usar cualquier cosa, un recipiente para sazonarlo, porque lo que vas a hacer es que vas a sazonarlo lo más posible. Y lo que vas a usar es, vas a hacer, we're going to use some garlic. Vamos a usar un poco de ajo molido, o ajo en polvo, como dicen. Garlic powder. Onion, cebolla en polvo. Vamos a usar adobo, Goya, y vamos a usar también orégano, y también si quieres usar un poco vas a usar un bay leaf. You're going to use some bay leaf for it. Vamos a usar un turmeric, and we are going to use 2 of this Goya culantro sofrito. We're going to use 2 of these. And that's just going to give them the nice flavor to this pernil. Okay, so vamos a comenzar. Let's get started. Let me go wash my hands a little bit here. So, let's get going. Okay, so we're going to use at least 1 or 2 teaspoons of everything, which is oregano. We're going to just, I just do to eyeball it, okay? Yo solamente lo veo, pero solamente tiene que ser como una cucharada o 2 cucharadas. That's it. El sazón Goya va a ser como unas 2 o 2 cucharadas. A double Goya is going to be like at least 2 or 3 spoons. And this is going to be like 1 spoon right there. And I'm going to put more later. Let's start to move stuff that we already used. Then we're going to use the onion. Vamos a usar the onion. And then we're going to use... you can use a little bit of turmeric too. I'm gonna use a little bit of turmeric to give you that nice kick to it, and you know, it tastes fantastic with it. So I put oregano. I don't think I put enough oregano in there, to tell you the truth. Let's put a little bit more. Okay, oregano. Now we are going to put, and then we're going to try to mix those things together. I'm going to put a little bit of chopped onion. And the only reason I'm doing that is because I love the fact that onion just gives them like a little bit more flavor to it. So why not? That is going to be very flavorful. Le voy a poner un poquitico de cebolla en pedacitos que son de Costco. Que la compro esto, pero les puedes poner del polvo, eso es más que suficiente. You can put the powder version of it. You don't have to do this, what I'm doing right now. That is just something that I'm doing, and that is up to you. I'm gonna put a little bit more of that sofrito, or adobo, okay? Let's go with adobo in there. The more you put, the better, because the more seasoning you're gonna put in there, so that's what you want. I'm gonna put a little bit of salt in there. You want salt. And you're gonna do some peppers. Vas a poner sal y pimienta. Esta pimienta es bien buena porque tú la rompes mientras la vas poniendo. So this is cracked pepper and black pepper, and basically you get it from Costco, and that's definitely going to give them a lot of flavor to this. So far we have all these ingredients in here, and we're just going to continue adding some more stuff. Okay, and I'm just gonna taste it a little bit because I want to taste. I'm gonna taste. And the more taste that it have, the better. Más sabor que tenga, mucho mejor. So vamos a seguir añadiéndole un poquitico más de sal porque la verdad es que necesita sal. Le voy a poner esto. La sal granulada, solamente para que se vaya yendo por ahí diluviendo. La verdad que esto está, mira, perfecto. Y también le vas a poner el sofrito. And you're also going to put the sofrito. So keep in mind that this thing is going to have flavor, and so much flavor stuff. It's going to be amazing. And you're also going to put this on top of it, and that is just going to give them a very nice roast. Esto le va a dar este colorcito como amarillo, o tú sabes, colores tan bellos que normalmente tú no lo ves en otros lugares, pero el culantro le da un buen sabor, ¿ok? Así que vamos a mover esto acá. I'm just going to taste it a little bit. And just to taste it, because sometimes you feel like you need a little bit more or something, then you put more. But I would say 1 or 2 teaspoons of everything is going to be perfect. Just keep in mind, the more you put, the better it's going to taste. Ya sabe bien bueno. That's tasting very good. I like the taste of the rub. It's almost like a rub that you're doing, you know, like you would do with the ribs, but you know, it's totally different because you're going to season a pernil. So pernil is going to be like almost that juicy, and you know, it's gonna slow cook. And the way that I do it is I put it the night before, like around midnight, and I wake up at 5 o'clock and this is actually falling off the bone, and I just leave it in 170 degrees, and I just leave it there, and I cover it so it doesn't get dry. And I just, by the time I'm done, basically this is all done, you know. And I just have to focus on the other things that I need to do for Thanksgiving or for Christmas or wherever it is that you're making this for. So that rub looks pretty good, and I think we're going to have to, it's not so good. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're going to add the sofrito to this too, because obviously there is not a seasoning without sofrito. Sofrito is the basic of every Latino, you know. So if you're Latino, si son Latino, necesitan ese sofrito, porque el sofrito es lo que le da todo el gusto a la cosa. So ahora vamos a ponerlo acá adentro. We're going to put all of it. I'm going to put all that half of it in there. We mix it with the condiments that I put together. So now we have all that mixtures with my sofrito, and that is going to taste even amazinger because you're gonna have peppers, onions, everything that I put in my sofrito. And if you have done my sofrito, you already know what goes into it, and that is going to be like the basic of everything. And now I like to taste things. You don't really have to because you already know what is there, but this is the basic of everything. And that is going to be almost like the same things that I'm gonna do for the turkey, except that I'm gonna add maybe some rosemary, and I'm gonna add thyme, and you know, and I'm just going to do the same concept. Just stuff it, grab a spoon, and then you start stuffing your pernil right on those cavities that you open up. Vas a comenzar a poner el sazón a donde le hiciste ese hoyo en el pernil, ahí es donde lo vas a poner. Porque tú quieres que coja todo ese gusto. So now you're just going down and trying to find those cavities that you open, you know? Or those, if you cannot find them, just, you know, go in here and make them bigger. Because that's what you want. You want them to, you want your sofrito to get in there and to season everything. So keep in mind, como pueden ver, lo único que tienen que hacer es hacer el hoyo, y un pequeño hoyo o en el pernil, y comenzar a ponerle el sofrito ahí. Y el sofrito quieres que vaya para el hueso, que llegue al hueso. You want the seasoning to go all the way to the bone, because you want that bone to be seasoned. That bone is going to give it a lot of flavor. Ese hueso le va a dar mucho sabor, y eso es lo que tú quieres, que le dé mucho sabor y que le dé mucho bueno esto acá, que tenga un sabor perfecto esto acá. Okay. So basically it's almost like you're injecting into the pernil, pork shoulder. Of course, be careful, you don't want to dump everything in here. You want all that seasoning to go right in there. And the more that you put there, the better. Lo más que le pongas, mucho mejor, porque eso va a estar mucho más. Y entre más, si lo sazonas 2 días antes o un día antes, está perfecto. Lo puedes sazonar el mismo día, pero prefiero que le deje un día o 2. You can season it a day prior, or you can season it 2 days prior, because this is going to be amazing just the way it is. If you season it the way it's supposed to, it's going to come out very juicy, and you're going to have all those condiments in there seasoning it. So just keep in mind, the more you put, the better it's going to be. And if anything comes out, just rub it all around the pork shoulder. And you have the bag too, so let's go in town and do that too. And keep in mind, this is a big pork shoulder, so it's going to be hard to be able to do everything. So try to make sure that you put it as much as in spaces that you can. Asegúrense de que lo pongan en más lugares posible, porque eso le va a dar mejor gusto y eso le va a dar el sabor que tú necesitas que tenga. Asegúrate que tú le pongas adentro. Mis manos están bien lavadas, so that's gonna be. My hands are very clean. I washed them very well, and I'm using them to push that seasoning in there too if I need to. So just keep that in mind. You can open the cavity a little bit more if you need to. Puedes abrirlo un poquitico más y empujarlo adentro para que entre. Para que todo ese sazón entre para allá y que todo sea sazón buenísimo. Porque lo que pasa es que entre más sazón le ponga, eso va a saber mejor. More seasoning you put, the better it's going to taste. And that's what you want. You want the taste of this seasoning to basically infuse inside of it. Lo que quieres es que el gusto, todo este sazón le entre y le dé ese sazón tan bueno que está adentro. Tú sabes que le dé ese sabor maravilloso que le da al pernil, que va a ser una... And you're gonna make sure that every crevice has some. So, van a asegurarse que todo tenga un poco de sazón. Como que hay que it's like a bug here trying to, I guess the seasoning is attracting bugs. Okay. And we're gonna make sure that all those crevices are covered with infused with those seasoning, because you want them to get in there. And I see that some of them already have some. So the more you poke this, the better it's going to be. And you make sure that it gets in there. You want it to get in there. See, now we have this place here that we haven't done anything to it, but don't worry, we still have a lot of seasoning even in here that we can grab. There's a lot of seasoning that fall from the pan to the thing. You can grab that too. Not everything is gonna get inside of it, so make sure that you grab even from here and just put it in there, and make sure that every little nick and cranny of this thing is actually covered. So okay, so as you can see, everything is almost covered. I think I want to put a little bit more here, because definitely we want those areas to be covered and inundated. Well, something fell down. Who knows what it was? Okay, we'll figure out. It's probably like that. Okay, so you definitely have a lot of stuff on the bottom of the pan. Don't get rid of that. That is going to be your lifesaver right there. Because when you're looking for some condiment, you're gonna find it right on the bottom of it. And guess what? That's precisely what you want. You want it, and you grab it, and you put it in there. You grab it from the bottom, and you put it in there. Until everything is just covered. Hasta que todo esté cubierto. Tú puedes agarrarle abajo y echarlo, porque todo ese sazón que está abajo también es bueno. Este es el mismo que estás usando, ¿verdad que sí? So, now that you have all that seasoning in the bottom of the dish, want to make sure that you scoop all that out. You're gonna find more, and you're gonna find more places that you want to stuff that in. Like right here, you see? And you just go back. You see how much you have still there? And that's what happens when you go a little bit overboard the first, but no, it's just normal. It's supposed to go that way. And I love the fact that that's the way it goes. Okay, so you see, you have plenty of seasoning for this pork shoulder. You don't even have to go back and make more, because guess what? This pork shoulder have enough in here. And you're going to, if you want, you can also put a lemon zest in it too. That's up to you. I don't do it, but that is up to you guys to decide if you want to do that. You see right here, in this place right here, I want to do another hole in there. And there's definitely enough condiments for me to put. Incredible or not, but you know what? In the bottom of the pan, there's going to be so much that you can still grab. I'm gonna show you. And your hands are so clean that you guys can do it. You see? You still have plenty to put in there. So much plenty, and you don't even have to stress about it. Oh! So this is your pork shoulder already ready. I don't know if I even put it down here, but you know what? Let's go and put some down there too, because I love the fact that, you know, we get to enjoy all this seasoning. And put it right in there. And if you can rub it on, I will rub it on. There it goes. Okay. Like I said, don't lose any of that residue in the bottom of the pan. No pierda ni un poquito de ese sazón que está abajo, porque lo vas a necesitar. Mira, todo ese sazón está perfecto. That seasoning is just perfect just to season that pork shoulder, and this is just the best part of it. The best part of the pork shoulder is seasoning it to perfection and making sure that, you know, all those crevices or all those little holes that you made into it have enough to fill them up. Lo que quieres hacer es que todos tengan un poquitico de sazón, que el sazón coja lo más posible. Y si quieres, puedes hacer, lo que puedes hacer también, echarle un poquitico de aceite de aloe vera. Eso es precisamente lo que va a hacer. Me voy a lavar las manos ahora. I'm going to wash my hands, and you can put a little bit of olive oil on top of it, just to make sure that everything is going to be, basically it's going to get that nice, crusty, beautiful seasoning of it. Normally people would say to put the olive oil inside of the seasoning. I would say that you can do that if you want to. You can do it in the seasoning, but I'm planning on actually marinating this for 2 days. So I don't think there's going to be a major difference if you actually put the seasoning, the little olive oil on top of it, because that's going to make it even more juicy, and it's going to do what it's supposed to. So I would recommend like a little bit of olive oil on top, and that would be basically my my taste of it, because, you know, olive oil is just so basically it's gonna give that nice crust feeling to it and that beautiful color to it. That's what you want. You want it to be a little bit, and you're just gonna put in a little bit. Le vas a poner un poquitico de aloe vera por encima, así lo vas a hacer. Lo puedes poner en la mezcla que hago, pero yo se lo pongo por encima porque así eso le va a dar un gusto más y le va a sostener ese. Y todavía no hemos terminado todavía. We haven't finished yet, because I still have one more ingredient that we need to put, is that sazón Goya achote, which we are going to put on it. Okay, so where's that sandwich? Okay, I have half of it here. I recommend you actually use like a bag or Ziploc bag because you don't want your hands to be orangey. That's my recommendation. You may take it or leave it, up to you guys to do so. I would say you can use 2 sandwich bags. That's precisely what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use 2 sandwich bags and I'm just gonna put it in my hand. And I'm going on to town. And that's because I don't want to. If you have gloves, food gloves, then go with that. I mean, that's all actually very good. Si tienen bolsa de Ziploc, pueden usar la de sándwiches para echarle el achote, porque el achote es un poquitico manchoso, le mancha las manos un poquitito, entonces yo les prefiero que usar algo para no mancharme las manos. Pero mira, eso es lo que voy a hacer, es que le voy a echar media mitad. I'm gonna pour like half of it and I'm gonna pour it all over it. So that's just half of it, and we're gonna just do this, mix it around, and we are just going to try to do that like all around. But being that I need to put another one, I'm gonna have to take them off for a second and then go back and try to put another one of these. Lo que voy a hacer es que voy a poner otro. Tenía que haberle puesto los dos al mismo tiempo, pero no lo hice. Ahora lo voy a hacer los dos. Y me quité las manos, los guantes, como dice, las Ziploc bags, que son como guantes. Pero ahora le vamos a hacer otro. Y le vamos a echar por encima. Y lo que voy a usar es que voy a usar estos Ziploc bags para distribuirlo. Es como si le estuviera dando un masajito. Like you're giving a massage and you're trying to put that ochote and everything in there. And I'm like, it's going to be so flavorful. It's not even funny how good it's going to be. So now we're going to move it around. Let me just put this back in here. So you see how this is actually very, orangey in color. So you're gonna put 2 of them because there's so much food in here and you want all those flavors to marinate and to really get into the seafood things. And you really want the best you can do. So, we're not even done yet because I still have a little bit of that, another half of it, and we're going to put it on the other side. Okay. Ahora tengo la otra mitad y lo vamos a poner ahí. So, tenemos como 1.5 le puse. I put like 1.5 of these achotes, and that is going to be the last ingredient that we're going to put in here. I mean, that is going to be such a colorful. Can you see this? It's going to give that nice color to it, and it's going to be perfect for that marinated part that we need to. So we have done that already, and we have put the achote. Sometimes what I like to do is actually put a little bit of the adobo goja, like a little bit of a tap to it, just to, you know, to give that salt and pepper taste to it, because that's basically what it is salt, pepper. And this is salt, garlic, granulated oregano, turmeric, and it's basically the same thing that I already applied to it. That's just gonna give it like more flavor to it. So if you choose to do that, just keep in mind that it's going to be more salty, and the more flavor you put, the better it's gonna taste. That is up to you to do that. And I'm gonna leave this for 2 days to season. So the more seasoned, the better. Let's just put a little bit more in here. So, and go back and just season it, because what happens is that this is a 10 pound pork shoulder. For more than I want to, I mean, I can put it in there and it will get in there, but the reality is that sometimes you definitely need to put a little bit on the outside too. So that's just my taste and mine. You guys can do whatever you want. I'm not putting it on the skin, I'm putting it basically on the top and the bottom here. So that's up to you guys to do that. I'm going to grab this and just pull a little bit right here. And keep in mind, I do this because we Latino likes a lot of flavor. So sometimes when you don't season it properly, it's not gonna taste, you're gonna taste everything that you're putting into it, but you're not really gonna taste that salty and pepper and all that stuff that comes with it. So always is a good idea to put as much of the adobo goja as you can, because it's gonna give them a lot of flavor. So that is basically one of the basics of staple of El Latino pork shoulder. So le vas a poner un poquitico más de adobo por encima, como vieron que le puse un poco de adobo por encima, solamente para darle un poquitico más de sal, pimienta y todas estas cosas que normalmente le pusimos ya. Pero esto le va a ayudar un poquitico más. So here we go. So this is a pork shoulder already seasoned. Like I said, measure everything like 1 spoon or 2 teaspoons. It's up to you guys how flavorful you want this. I always say the more the merrier, so I always put a lot. I put more seasoning than I will ever think of putting in things. But this is a big piece of meat. It's 10 pounds and is gonna need more seasoning than normally. Depending on how many pounds you put, the more ingredients you need to put into it. So if you have a 5-pounder, of course, don't put that much. Put in 1 teaspoon instead of 2. So it's going to be like less of that. Of course, when you're baking it, make sure that you add the bay leaf to it. Asegúrense que le añaden el bay leaf cuando lo están haciendo en el horno. Y de la manera que yo lo pongo en el horno es, yo lo pongo en el horno a 300 por cada 5 o 6 horas. Lo dejo así a 300 y en 300 se va cociendo poco a poco. Y trato de taparlo. Después lo tapo como 1 hora antes. 1 hora antes de sacarlo o que ya esté, entonces yo le quito el coso. Entonces, eso es todo. Well, guys, like I said, I bake it at 300 for more like 5-6 hours, but I bake it slow. I probably put it in like maybe 12 or it could be 5 or 6 hours depending on how tender you want it. I want my pork shoulder to basically just fall off the bone. That's what I want, but that's your preference. If you don't like that, then don't go for it. But my pork shoulder have to be tender, juicy, and I tend to cover it for that 8 hours for the marinating their own juices. I also put a couple cups of water inside of it. You can put some chicken stock, you can put beef stock, you can put whatever is gonna make you happy. That's what you should do. But I only put like water on the bottom of it, and I try to elevate it too. Like I said, lo pongo un poco para arriba, no dejo que toque el piso, porque a veces en el piso se queda muy pegado y todo eso. Tú quieres que esté un poco menos, que los jugos como que evaporen, el vapor le esté dando. So como que se haga al vapor. What are you trying to do, accomplish, is to basically get it, to get to the point of the vapors of the water to come up and actually make that pork shoulder even more tastier and juicier and more flavorful. So this is basically it. Right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cover this for at least with my paper wrap, and when it's ready, I'm just going to use one of my containers, and I don't know if I'm going to use the same one, but it might be the same one or it might be something different, because if I do use this one, I will have to wash it and I will have to place this somewhere else to transfer to it. That is something. And if you ask me where I got my containers I got them from Walmart. They were actually, I have to wash this part here, but they were actually $3 and $3 or $3, I think, at Walmart when they were selling it. And you can actually bake and roast in them. And this is the elevated thing that I was telling you about, that you need to something to elevate your turkey or your pork shoulder. So it doesn't actually get all brownish on the bottom, and all the meat doesn't get basically burned. You don't want that. You want that all the juices to come out. Okay, well guys, this is my pork shoulder seasoning. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I try to do like a little bit of variation in English and Spanish. I hope that didn't bother you, but if it did, let me know. But this is definitely a pork shoulder seasoning style. You definitely need all those ingredients, even that marinade and those flavors to go with. I'll see you next time on Bee's Cocina, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. I'm probably gonna be posting the one for the turkey, which is next because it's been defrosting. But I'll see you next time. Have a good day, and if no one told you, you're perfect just the way you are. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.